Hi, I'm Lauren McGarry from Hauppauge High School, and I'm applying for the FLACS Scholarship for Outstanding Achievement in a Language Other than English. I study French and German in school, and outside of school I've studied a little bit of Latin and Russian. I always loved English grammar and vocabulary, but I really didn't get into French until high school. That's when it really clicked, and I began to enjoy the language more than need to study it. And I really figured out how to connect it to English, and I learned more about English grammar, and that made it even more fun. I started reading Harry Potter in French, and I attended a 4-week immersion program through the Center for Talented Youth. So French was a hobby, and it was a way to make friends. In 10th grade, I started German because I decided through French I already learned how to study a foreign language, how to connect everything to English, and how to come up with the little mnemonics. And I also knew the rules. I understood when to use to be instead of to have for past participles, and it made sense. And direct objects and indirect objects, all those things that we didn't really go over in English class, but that are necessary for understanding structure. That summer, I took a 3-week course in Latin, and I thought, oh, well, it'll be useful for SATs, because everyone says the vocabulary is great. The vocabulary is great. It completely changed my college plans and my view of language forever. I used to love the language as entities. I would be like, I love speaking French. It's so nice. I love listening to German. It's so cool. And I still do. I still feel that way about languages, but Latin trained me to dissect the words and trace the etymologies and just see the little building blocks. It's like oh, you think animals are cool, and then you find out about DNA. It, I became obsessed with words. I knew I loved English vocabulary, but words are now my passion. I just when I open a dictionary, it's like magic. I if I'm trying to look something up, I always forget whatever I was trying to find because I say, oh, something shiny over here, because it's just amazing that with just 26 letters we can do so much. This past summer I expanded beyond those 26 letters by doing a summer homestay for 7 weeks. It was through the State Department National Security Language Initiative for Youth in Russia. I lived in Gatchina with a lovely family, and I took language classes, and it's just opened all kinds of doors. Now I want to learn Turkish, I want to learn Finnish. I just want to see all the different families because they're so different but they're so alike. It's just amazing you just look at a word and you see how they all fit together. And so that has really confirmed that I want to study linguistics. This year, I've sort of dedicated to investigating English. I've been reading books on lexicography, which is making dictionaries, which sounds really boring, but it's actually amazing. And there's a lot of controversy now because of all the texting language going on. And OMG and LOL just got added to the Oxford English Dictionary, and it's just causing this, not so much an uproar, I don't know what to call it, but it's very relevant now. And it's really interesting, and I'm sort of starting to change my views on it. I used to be this really strict, you have to follow the rules of grammar, you have to do this, you have to do that, and now I'm sort of realizing when it's okay not to. So it's really just completely changing my view of how I communicate. And just the basic impact of the languages that they make me happy. It's just so much fun, and it's really important in today's global community with business and just everything we do. It relates to the rest of the world because of technology. So I love learning French words and Russian grammar, but I just can't. What's even more fun is seeing it connect to everything else I do. I would consider myself a member of the global community because I've been traveling a lot lately. This past year, I've been to Spain, France, Germany, and Russia. Russia, as I said, I lived with a family, and also I did that in Germany. In Russia, my French teacher told me about the scholarship, so that's kind of how related to that. But German, it was a school exchange. We do the German-American Partnership Program, and we spend 2 weeks living with a family, going to their school, and then the person we stay with comes and stays at our house. So in both cases, I got to learn the language while learning the culture, seeing how people live, because it's one thing to stay in a hotel and see the country. It's another thing entirely to actually live there and be incorporated into their daily life. And even more importantly, I got to share my culture with them, and it was amazing. I feel like we have a lot to learn from other countries. Like, the German school system is fantastic. The way they separate it out early. Like, we have AP classes, but they really identify the talented students and set them on a track, and then they identify the people who need more help and they set them on that track, so everyone gets what they need. And it's fantastic. But also, we need to learn how to help other people. Like Russia, we've been sending money to Russia for a long time. We've been sending them money since the Soviet Union fell, and things haven't gotten better. But we haven't done anything about it. The best thing we've done is add more exchange programs, because Russians still love Lenin and they hate the United States, but the United States doesn't understand why. So if we go over there, we see, oh, well, since they've instituted capitalism, they have terrible police officers that don't help. They have rampant poverty. They have really bad infrastructure. It's just not a good place to live. And so if we try and fix those basic problems, there's so much more that we can accomplish without throwing away all this money that's just going to corrupt government officials. But then also, on a more personal level, we can learn from them. They don't have as much. It's just, they live much more simply. They live in smaller homes. I was in a 3-room apartment with a 4-person family. Their lives are so different, but they're fine. They survived. I think we can really take something away from that. As for how language connects to that, I feel like people respect you more when you try and use their language. They're more likely to share their culture with you. I bought flowers from a little babushka in a market in Russia. I asked for directions in the middle of Hamburg. It's really stressful and almost embarrassing when you go up there barely speaking a word of their language and just trying to get a point across, but it's so rewarding when they answer you. And they are much more welcome when you don't just assume that they know English, when you don't try and inflict your culture upon them. Loat-related activities in which I've participated, I'm a member of the French Honor Society, the German National Honor Society. I'm president of the French Club, so I run meetings, I meet with my French teacher, see what she needs help with, what needs to be done for the club, put in for fundraisers and stuff like that. Every year we have something called International Night. We have lots and lots of food from a lot of different countries. And then we have entertainment, and it's just a really fun community event. And we raise money for the language clubs and for Crohn's and Colitis and Make-A-Wish. So a lot of my job did just consist of yelling at the club to sign up for making food and getting donations for our raffle, and telling them they need to make something or they need to serve food at a certain time. But that's really what needs to get done. It's a lot of work every year. It's in April and we start in January, but it's always a fantastic event, and it's really great for cultural awareness and sharing, and it's a lot of fun. Other activities that I've done are just the AATF, the National French Competition, the National German Competition. I've ranked in Suffolk County in the top 3 at least every year. And I was actually first in the county for level 5 this year. For German, I ranked on Long Island. I'm 4th on Long Island for level 4. And then the French poetry contests that I've done. But I haven't really ensured their success. I just kind of went and did it. In the fall, I'm going to be attending Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. with a major in linguistics. I hope to fit French, Russian, and Turkish into my schedule, and I'm going to spend my junior year abroad. I'm trying to figure out how to divide it up between the places. I originally thought a semester in France, semester in Russia, but Georgetown actually has a campus in Turkey. So I'm going to have some decisions to make. If I can get an internship abroad somewhere, that would be ideal, but I'm going to have to see how it goes, talk to advisors and professors and everything. Linguistics takes a very scientific approach to language, so instead of just taking the language classes for that purpose only, I want to use this to incorporate myself into the global community and really investigate how the diverse language families are all connected. Language is the basis of culture, and in the most basic civilizations, they had language for trade and to document anything they found, any science, any religion that they established. So language is essential to our lives. So understanding how we speak and how everyone else speaks and how it all relates will tell us how these cultures have interacted throughout history and how it worked to build modern society. So I really hope to gain a better understanding of the world through these languages. I really don't know what I'm going to do after college, but I know I'm going to incorporate language. My current dream is lexicography, the dictionary making that we discussed, but there aren't a lot of job opportunities with that. I'm going to take business courses in college, maybe go into international business, maybe go into the State Department. Who knows? Maybe I'll spend a year in Serbia or Moscow teaching English. I just want to spend my time surrounded by language and surrounded by culture and just always getting something new. Because these LOT classes are the best part of my day, every day. So I just want to spend my life immersed in it. I want to continue it as long as I possibly can. That's it.